Hey everyone, welcome to another video. The team that we're going to be taking an in-depth look at today is our 2024 Utah Utes football team. We're going to do a complete preview of this entire team, look over their roster, see what pieces they added to this year's team, what pieces they lost from last year's team, but we're also going to do a complete prediction of their 2024 schedule. We're going to go game by game, looking at every single game, seeing which games we think they're going to win, lose, and what we predict their final record will be. Go ahead, hit that like button, and subscribe. If you have any comments, drop them below, and I will make sure to respond. So our 2024 Utah Utes football team, to kind of give us a basis of what we're basing things off of, Vegas, as of right now, predicts them coming in at 9.5 wins. That's a really good season, first year in the Big 12. We know that the Pac-12 was dissolved. They're now coming over to the Big 12, and they are coming over as one of the most, if not the most successful team coming from the Big 12. This is a team that's won a lot of Pac-12 championships. They have a lot coming with them, a lot of oomph, stacked roster, great coaching staff. Kyle Whittingham, one of the best, most underappreciated coaches in all of college football. He's the third most tenured coach in all of college football. This guy does so much with a team full of 3 stars and just a handful of 4 stars. Why? Because he knows how to coach. He knows how to develop the skill of the players that he has on his roster. He does that as well as anyone. He's going to get the most out of the players he has. And let's be honest, this is actually not a bad schedule this year. The Big 12 is a pretty tough conference. There's a lot of well-rounded teams. There's not a lot of garbage teams. There's a lot of decent teams. So it's kind of hard to run through that conference undefeated. But Utah actually avoids a lot of the big teams. They don't play Kansas. They don't play Kansas State. Some of the teams that have the best odds to win the conference. And we know that with the Pac-12 getting dissolved, they're coming over to the Big 12 with a little bit of the revenge factor. Their conference is gone. They weren't picked up by the Big 10. They kind of want to show themselves, and there's a lot of reason to be optimistic here. So last year was a lost one for the Utes because their quarterback missed the entire season. So they were basically running circles trying to rebound from their leader being gone on the field. But there's good news here. Cam Rising is back at quarterback, and they also added some major playmakers. And the defense, of course, will always be a stout top 20 defense as it is every single season. Can they win the Big 12 this season, their first year in the conference? Yes. And if they win the Big 12, obviously with the new playoff format, they automatically make the playoffs. They get the bye week. They're in. Anything short of a playoff berth this year, to me, would be a major disappointment for Utah. The schedule's not bad. The road is almost paved to make it to the Big 12 championship. The greatest difference we will see between this team and last year's is on the offensive side of the ball. They'll actually be able to get first downs this year. That's the biggest difference that they're going to have from last year. Helping them will be the return of quarterback Cam Rising for looks like his 15th year of college football. The guy's been in college football forever. And tight end Brent Venables. He's one of the major go-to playmakers. He's going to be force-feeding him the ball. Coming in, we also have the wide receiver Singer. He should be able to stretch the field, adding more of a vertical threat. Quarterback Jackson, he's gone, but there's a deep running back room that's going to be led by Micah Bernard and company. The defense has always been a top 20 defense, basically for 2 decades now. They're going to pick up where they left off again, a top 20 defense this year. They always have a physical line, great scheme, physical, disciplined defense. They were 18th in the country last season, giving up 18 points per game, even with all the injuries and the anemic offense. So how much better will they be this year? They had 8 starters coming back from last year's defense. That is huge. There's going to be a lot of experience, a lot of leadership there. They add Johnson. They add Calhoun from the portal. Ellis, he's obviously off to the NFL, but Utah will be able to fill his shoes. As I mentioned, they're going to have a top 20 defense, and they're going to have the best, most physical defense in the entire Big 12 by a long shot. So let's take a look at their schedule. Let's kind of run through here. They kick things off Thursday, August 29th versus Southern Utah. This is obviously going to be a win. They want to start out the year hot. It's going to be a big one. Let's put this at a 48-6 game, and they're 1-0. Next game is going to be Saturday, September 7th versus Baylor. Baylor is one of those teams under Dave Aranda. This is probably his last season. They should be a lot better than they are, but they're just not. They don't have a good offense. They don't have a good defense. They're going to get out-physicaled here. Utah is going to win this one, let's say 33-17, and they're 2-0. Next game, Saturday, September 14th at Utah State. This is also a team where there's going to be a massive talent gap here. Utah is going to win this one 38-10, and they're 3-0. Next game, Saturday, September 21st at Oklahoma State. This is a team that they can easily beat, but Oklahoma State does have Ollie Gordon. They have a top 10 experienced offensive line coming back. They have a lot of wide receivers back. I'm going to pick Utah to drop this one because it's kind of hard to see where they're going to lose on the schedule because they're probably the best team on their schedule. They should be better than everyone else, but there's going to be one of those games where they play a good team like Oklahoma State where they drop it. It's just bound to happen. I'm picking it to happen here. They're going to lose this one in a close one, 27-25, and they're 3-1. But they could easily win it. I would not be surprised. Very physical team. They're going to attack Gordon, seeking to shut down that run game. Next game, Saturday, September 28th versus Arizona. This is a team that won 10 games last season. They have Fafita back, great wide receiver core, great defense. But Jeff Fish is gone. They are completely starting over on the coaching staff. I have Utah being in the same scheme, great coaching, out-coaching and outplaying them. Winning this one in a closer one, though. It's going to be 27-24, and they're 4-1. Friday, October 11th at Arizona State. They're way better than the Sun Devils. Massive talent advantage here. They're going to win this one 30-20, and they're 5-1. Next game, Saturday, October 19th versus TCU. This is going to be a team. TCU is a lot better than they played last season. Last season, they had a very disappointing year coming off of the national championship, but it was mainly due to injuries. They were not rolling out the starting roster that they should have been. They were kind of a little running there, but TCU is going to be a lot better this year, especially on the offensive side. But I have Utah winning this one 30-21, and they're going to be 6-1. Next game, Saturday, October 26th at Houston. Houston, Cliff Kingsbury, he's gone. They lost a lot of players to the portal. Brown's gone. But the quarterback had a decent season last year, first season starting. He is back. They're definitely going to be a vertical team pushing the ball down the field. You have Fritz coming in as the head coach. Great head coach, but he's completely flipping this roster. Look for Utah to win this one 35-17, and they're 7-1. Next game, Saturday, November 9th at BYU. BYU is sometimes a team that's really competitive some seasons, really physical. Very next season, completely fall off the rails. I see them being like a 6-6, 7-5 type team this season. Look for Utah to win this one 38-17, and they're 8-1. Next game, Saturday, November 16th at Colorado. A lot of teams have Colorado winning this one. They have Shedeur Sanders. They have Travis Hunter, Deion Sanders. They have the complete sideshow going on off the field. I in no way see that happening. Utah is way better than Colorado. Let's just be serious. They're going to outplay them. They're very physical, good defense. Colorado will not be able to stop their offense, and they're just too well coached. Utah's going to win this one again. It's going to be 44-21, and they're going to be 9-1. Next game, Saturday, November 23rd versus Iowa State. Iowa State, very good team, very well coached, physical team. They like to run the ball. They play solid defense also. They're almost like Utah, but just a little less talented, but they're almost just as well coached. Very solid team. A team that if you're sleeping on, looking at the Big 12 championship, they might surprise you. That's what I have happening. I have Iowa State winning this one in a really close, low-scoring game. Let's put it at a 27-24. Utah loses this one. They drop to 9-2. Just because they kind of get caught looking towards the next game, which would be UCF and the Big 12 championship. Very final game of the season. Friday, November 29th at UCF. This is a tough game. This is a bit of a sleeper game. You don't want to sleep on UCF. Solid team, really good run game. They have KJ Jefferson. They have Gus Malzahn. They can score some points. They can run the ball. Utah is going to look to slow the game down, run the ball, scramble for some first downs, keep the ball out of the Knights' hands. I have Utah winning the final game of the season, 33-24, finishing their regular season 10-2. That gets them into the Big 12 championship, where I think they would either rematch with Oklahoma State or potentially for the first time this year play Kansas or Kansas State. But I have Utah. As of right now, they're my favorites to win the Big 12. But that's my breakdown for our 2024 Utah Utes football team. As I mentioned before, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any comments, drop them below and I will respond. Thank you.